Everyone, Paul here. Today I'm going to be going over part 2 of the strategy that I talked about yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you watch that one, because I kind of break down how to use the Bollinger Bands and find the tops and bottoms. So definitely watch that video. Today I'm going to be kind of briefly going over that, but I'm going to be also going over some indicators that you can add to kind of help you and make your decisions on what's going to happen with using the Bollinger Band strategy to kind of help make your decision on which direction you want to go, if you want to do a long or short. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be loading moving averages. We're going to have 2 moving averages. We're going to have we're going to have an indicator called the differences of 2 moving averages and RSI. So I'll show you how to input the settings that I use, and I'll walk you through that process of showing you what I do. And this is kind of how yesterday I ended up making. If you look at my community tab, you'll see that I made a decent amount in Bitcoin. I think I made it was my best. It was my best day in percentages with futures trading. I think I made around 45% yesterday throughout the day. So this strategy works pretty well. Anyway, let me walk you through the settings that you need to put on your TradingView account and kind of how to look for the right entry points. Okay, so what we're going to be using, I'm going to use Bitcoin as an example today, and just to briefly, let's just move that real quick. Okay, so you're going to have, it's going to be blank like this if you want to, set it up and everything. You have a blank TradingView, set it up as a blank, and then I'll show you how to input all the settings. The first thing we need is we're going to switch this over to the day, and then you're going to switch on to your Bollinger Bands. And what you're going to do on the day is you're going to mark it where the top Bollinger Band and the bottom Bollinger Band are at. So you want to make a horizontal line at those moments right there. And then you want to switch over. Now, I do the hour. It gives kind of, my opinion, the best results. Yeah, I forgot to, let's see, right here. We want to make sure on the notes, at least what I do is I go day top, day bottom on the Bollinger Bands, the lines that you just made, day bottom. Now what this will do, before we go further, it's going to show you the day of where most likely the bounces are going to be going between. So throughout the day, it should be going, Bitcoin should be going from 29,800 to 27,000, something like there. So it should be bouncing between these two. So what I use is I go to the hour to get zoom in a little bit closer. And yesterday it was more in the middle, but right now we'll see what happens. Now we go to the hour and we do the same thing. I make my line here for the top. We go hour top. And then we got the bottom here. So this one will be our bottom. So once you have all this, you can remove the Bollinger Bands because you don't really need it. So what you will see is, now what I do after I have all this set up is I just go to the minute and I see what's currently happened by the minute here because we got our marks. And what we can basically tell here by looking at this, and I got to go into the settings, but we could tell that once the candles get pretty close to the hour bottom, it's probably going to bounce up. So do your own research on this, but I kind of want to go over the other indicators to improve your chances on making better decisions. But from this, we can see that these are pretty spread out. So what I would predict is when the candles start going closer down here, it's going to bounce up. So, and Bitcoin might be bouncing up because it had a pretty down day yesterday. But first, there's 3 settings here that you want to have. Well, I have this setting here. It's called, it's in our indicators. You want to go to your indicators and you want to go to favorites. You want to go to 3 smooth indicators. It's called the 3SMMA. You just load that one up. It's called the 3SMMA. Basically, the 3 moving average. Or you can do it separately. You can go to moving average exponential and you can enter this twice. But whichever one you do. I like having this all in one indicator because it's less space on the screen. But this is kind of the settings. You can do this with moving average exponential, and you just have to enter it more times. If you do moving average exponential, you want to have the first one be a 9, second one be a 20, and the third one being 55. Now the 55 I turn on and off, but for the sake of this video, I'll put it on for you guys. But I don't have the 55 on all the time. But the 55 is mainly there for you to see what direction it's going to go. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to put it on here just so you guys see. It is helpful to have all 3. But you don't have to have the 55 on here if you want. You can just have the 9 and the 20. But I'll show you today with the 55 too. It's up to you guys. So once we have that loaded, those are the moving averages that you need. And what you will see here, you zoom in a lot closer. So what we could see from the marks that we made earlier, it's most likely gonna, we're back on the minute here, so it's more likely gonna hit our bottom and start bouncing back up. And that's what I think from observing this, what it's going to be doing. So if we zoom in closer, knowing that it's probably going to go down and bounce, that's probably what you want to focus on, is it going up. Now what you want to look for in the moving averages, these are just different things to look for. You can see that the 55 is on the bottom. What you want to look for really is when all three of these moving averages are merging together. When all 3 of these moving averages are merging together is a signal that it's going to be going in that direction. If we go back here and we look at a time where they all crossed, like right here, kind of crossed right there, you can see that it kind of crossed right here. So I could probably predict that the trend went up at this point. Notice that all 3 of these moving averages kind of crossed, and you can see that the trend went up. So it kind of helps focusing on the time when all 3 of the moving averages are, they go in the same direction. That's what I kind of use it for. So we find another moment and we see that they all merge right here. Right here we see that they're all merging, so this is a signal of a downtrend at this point. I could turn back on the candles. Well, actually the candles are on. You turn back the candles here and you can see the downtrend. When you have the 55 and it's above the other 2 EMAs, it is a signal of a downtrend. When the 55 is below the other 2 lines, it's a signal of an uptrend. But what you want to really look for is the moment that it's all merging, they're all collapsing together. That is a signal. Whatever direction it's going is the signal and the direction that it's going. So I'm not really going to go, I may make a video more into about these moving averages. I don't really want to go that much into it because there's other indicators I want to show you guys. So doing that alone will help you. So you have the Bollinger Band strategy, you have your marks, you have the 3, you have the 9, the 20, and the 55. So let me show you the other two indicators that you need to make the decisions. You want to do you want to get something called the differences of two moving averages. That is these two right here. So what you want to do is, once you get the differences of two moving averages, you want to change it to 20 and 25. Those are the settings for that one, and you have another indicator here that will help you make better decisions. So let's look at this on the hour real quick and zoom in a little bit. Now on the hour, what can we tell here? Now from observing from these indicators alone, from what I look for is when it goes from a light red to a dark red. Now we're on the hour, so what usually happens after it comes to a light red to a dark red? What usually happens after a light red to a dark red? Light red to dark red is a signal of it going back up. So if you're looking at this on the hour, it's a signal of, in that moment, it starts to go back up. So right here on the EMA difference, you see light red, dark red. Once it hits dark red, it's a signal. Once it starts going to dark red, it's a signal that it's starting to go back up, or trying to go back up. So we could find those moments of it going from a light red to a dark red, and that's a signal of a movement of it going back up. So you just look for the moments of when it goes from light to dark, and that is another signal to get in my opinion. So we see it again right here. Let me turn these EMAs off real quick. You see it happening right here. You see a light green to a dark green, a light green to a dark green. So what this basically means, when you go from a light green to a dark green, is a signal of it going down. So you just enter here. And the EMA difference will really help you know when to get out. And it will show you the moments of, you can basically tell what it's going to be doing, because you can see it goes from a light green to a dark green, and you can see it start going down, and then you see it going into a light red, which is it's a signal that it's still going down. But once it starts going into the dark red, you know that it's going to start trending back up. So I've made videos about the EMA difference. I'm not going to go too much more into it. This is just the other indicator that I use. So, but if I find that video that is referenced into this, I'll put it below in my description if you guys want to watch that video where I talk specifically more in depth about the EMA difference. But the last one here that I use is the relative strength index. So, and the relative strength index can be used different ways. A lot of things that I do is when I find moments of future, doing future trade, I focus on the purple line, and I focus on it passing through the RSI. When I find these moments, those are also a good moment to get in for a future trade. You see right here where the purple line is going through the yellow line. That is a signal to me as a downtrend. And if you check it with the EMA difference, it'll double confirm everything. So you can use the RSI for different things, but it's really effective here. Like if you find the moments where it's passing through the yellow line, that is a moment that I would come in for a futures trade. Check your marks with your Bollinger Bands, check your EMA difference, and check if the RSI and the purple line is going through the yellow line. If the purple line is going through the yellow line, it's going up, you want to do a long. If the purple line is pushing through going down, you want to do a short. And this is the method I do with the RSI. There's many different methods that you can do with the RSI, but you have 3 or 4 different ways to kind of confirm the direction that it's going to be going. You have your marks, you have your hour and your day, You have your EMA difference that will show you, you know, if you focus on from the light red to the dark red and the light green to the dark green, that's another signal. And then you have your RSI, and once the purple line has gone through the yellow line, that's another confirmation of the direction. Once you have all this and you have 3 of them checking off, it's a good position to be to make your marks. But anyway, this is kind of what I do to make results. Real quickly, I follow these same strategies yesterday. Now if you go to my communities tab, you'll see that yesterday I made a whole bunch of gains with Bitcoin, and like that 37% right there. It was the first day that I did 100 times leverage on the trade, and you know, I might start doing just 100 times leverage because I really like the results, especially if you're doing the RSI technique. You'll find, you know, you don't have to stay in your trade for too long to get these kind of results. But anyway, that's kind of what I do. Anyway, if you found this helpful, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in future videos.